Hey everyone, today we're going to do a tackle bag check. Now, this is always going to change and there's always going to be things either added or shifted around, but these are the bare essentials that I like to keep in my bag. Meaning I have a few basic boxes, and I'll go through everything. This is, like I said, kind of my quick go-to thing that when I want to I get home from work and I want to go fish, I grab this, grab a fishing pole, and I head out. Now if I'm going to go out on the boat, this is going to change because there's either a cooler that something's going in, which is my dry storage box, or there's a backpack that might have other things stored in it. But this is, like I said, my quick go-to, and I can just go out the door and I know I'm going to be okay. I'm going to have the bare essentials and I'm good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start on the outside pockets before we go into the main compartment here, and then we'll kind of break down what I have. But in this back pocket, which has just got the Velcro, I keep a drawstring backpack. If I'm going to go down a seawall and I know what I want to fish, I like having this because I can just throw a bag or two into it, maybe throw some of the other stuff that's in the center in there, put this over my back and just go. And I don't have to worry about it if I have to cut through some brush, or if I have anything that I have to do, it's not a problem. And this is much easier to maneuver around than this is. So I try to keep this with me at all times. Also, and I usually have more, paracord. I usually have anywhere from 3 to 4 sections of like 6 foot. And I always have a knife with me. I mean, you should always have a knife with you. And that's with me no matter what I do all the time. So you could keep a 20-foot section or so. And it's nice that if either the bait bucket, the line comes untied from it, or you need like an impromptu stringer, or, I mean, there's 1,000 uses for paracord. I'm not going to make a video on that. I would run out of time. I keep that in there basically at all times. And that's all I keep in here for the most part. And like I said, things are going to change. I might stick something else in there, but that's just a quick little pouch to keep things in. I don't always use them, but they're there if I need them. On the side here, there's a top little Velcro, and this is with me no matter what. This is something that gets put into the backpack if I take it, or if I'm just using this pouch, which is a whistle. We did a lot of kayak fishing prior to the boat, and a whistle is something you need to have, but it's great. You know, if anything happens, you fall, if you have this with you, I usually have it on me. It's a great way to signal someone, and you really can't be too safe. You never know what's going to happen. So it's a good thing to have with you. I like to keep that pretty accessible outside pouch. It is right there. Below that, there's a zipper pouch. I keep my leader lines in here. I usually have a 25 and a 30. Right now I have 2 30s, just because, I don't know why. I wasn't paying attention to what I had. But I keep my leader line in there. And then if I'm going to do some different fishing, if I'm going to go out in the pass, I'll throw like the 60 or something in there and just trade one of those out. But that's really all I ever store in here. On the opposite side of this, I have one Velcroed pouch. I basically keep just a couple things in here. The first is sunscreen. Gotta have sunscreen. I've been burnt enough and I've done enough stuff outside to where this is important now. I want to make sure you keep yourself safe, and try to prevent any type of cancer if you can. We use the Sunbum SPF 30. You know, it sucks going to work on a Monday and being all burnt and then having to get in somebody's attic. So I keep this with me at all times. Make sure you get the top of your feet, backs of your ears, back of your neck. Those are the ones that you're going to get and you're going to forget about. With that, and this helps with my face, is I keep at least one extra buff in here. I usually fish with my American flag one. This one stays in my bag. Usually if someone goes with me and they don't have one, I like to offer it to them, because a lot of people don't think to bring it if they're just going real quick. But I always have one of these in my bag. That's a spare. I have a couple of them around the house, but like I said, I have my main one that I like to have, which is my American flag, and I'm sure you've seen that before. And that's what just stays in here all the time. Sunscreen's important. Gotta keep yourself safe. In the front, something that you should have, and I've gone through a few pairs of pliers, and these ones work okay. And I re-lube everything up before I go out. But just a regular pair of needle nose. I have a couple of pliers that hook onto the side of your pants, and they work okay. But I've bent a couple of them, like putting a split shot on or something, and you really can't beat a good pair of needle nose. So I'll hit these with WD like 2 or 3 days before I go. I usually do a whole fishing gear check just to make sure everything's where it should be and I have everything working correctly. But a nice pair of sturdy pliers is good to have. I keep some extra hooks up here, which I don't keep them in my bag because I bought them, I don't know, a couple years ago. We went down to the Keys. There's some Owner 2-aughts, like circle hooks, and it's nice just to keep some extra hooks, but I don't put them in the bag because there's honestly too many of them. One of the best kept secrets in fishing are these cutters. They're the boomerang tool, and they have the retractable line. And this is nice, like if you have a pair of board shorts, that side pocket that has the scraper attached to it, if you hook this onto it, just loop it around itself, keep this in your pocket, pulls out, this cuts everything really great, up to like 80-pound fluoro, no problem. All the leaders that I use, no problem. And it cuts everything, and these are probably one of the best kept secrets. They're getting out there a little bit more now, but these things are amazing. Let me see if you can see that. I swear by these things. I've gone through a few of them because I've lost them or seized them up, but I would not ever have a tackle box without one of these in them. They're pretty great. I would endorse them no matter what. These things are great. So I would suggest you guys get one of these, put them in your bag. Both of those are kept up front because they're in and out quite a bit. This one usually goes in my pocket. I usually wear board shorts when I'm fishing, and that goes in there and it stays there through the day. I leave that there. The pliers are in and out right here, but those are quick access. Now in this pouch behind it, this is a little bit of a mess. I don't organize this too much, but this is where most of my soft plastics go. I say most, and I actually mean all. So old MTB boxes, the plastics out of those, they go in here. All of the gulps that I buy have a lot of gulp new penny shrimp. That's probably my favorite color. The Sports Authority down the road from us is closing, I'm sure you guys know, and had a bunch of these lures. I got like five packs of these, not the mirror lures, but these exudes. I think I got all of these for like $3 or $4. Super cheap, so I had to jump on that. Those are real great. Mirror lure, you shouldn't leave home without those. Some more gulps. These are real nice for flounders. Offfinger did a video with these, and I've actually caught quite a few on them. They're nice. I have yet to catch anything on the Spike It Grand Bay Lures holographic. I got that in the May mystery tackle box. Haven't caught anything on these yet. Then again, I haven't had a ton of time to put into fishing with these. I have fished with them the night under the bridge. No success with that, but I am going to continue to try them. I want to get something on these. Charlies. Gotta love Charlies. These things are awesome. And this is the same color that I usually use for redfish. It's that red. Usually with a red jig head or a green jig head. And I like to have some type of gold fleck in there. These don't really have the fleck, but a real nice bag. And like the usual suspects. So usually a lot of my soft plastics that are still in the container, I keep in here. And that's just about all I keep in the front. You know, there might be a better way to organize that, but I haven't figured it out yet, and I'm pretty happy with how my system works right now. So just kind of put it all back together, mush it in there, close it up. Now in the top, we unzip this, and this is nice, it all flaps. I usually have it flapped up just because I'm in and out of this thing. You open the top, and at first you see is there's a large zipper portion here. So the first thing you see when you open it up is there's a large zipper portion, and it's got like a clear plastic here, or vinyl. And what I normally keep in here is when I'm out on the boat, I don't want to keep anything in my pocket. And this is, I think, one way to help keep it from getting wet. I usually stick my phone keys and wallet right in there, and I leave it right there. That is a nice feature that I don't see a lot of bags have. They're usually like a mesh, but this vinyl plastic, it's nice to keep from splashes getting on everything. So I like to put all that there: fishing license, phone, wallet, keys, all that other stuff. So that is the first thing that I really like about this bag when you open it up. Now this box, when you get the bag, actually, it comes with 6 boxes. I don't think I've ever used all 6. I usually immediately take one out and put all the extra dividers in there, and that one basically never goes in my bag. Plus it's a pain in the butt to try and pull a box out and put a box back in when it's completely full. Now these will get changed here and there depending on what type of fishing I'm doing and how depleted or full my fishing lure collection is. Right now it's pretty depleted, so I keep 3 boxes in here. But the extra boxes just stay pretty close by, and they're with all my fishing stuff. The first things that I keep in the back, a knife. Bubble blades work great. But what this I really use for on the boat is if I catch a mullet and I want to use some cut bait. I do have other fillet knives, but this is just one knife that I keep in my box. And it makes it easier to have everything kind of consolidated. So I keep that with me. The next thing I keep is a ruler. These are really great. They have them at most tackle stores. Gives you a nice edge to measure on. On the back of it, it has fish and I think it has a season on them and the sizes that you're allowed. Let me just check Snook real quick. Yep, so it gives you 28 to 33, closed December 1st to February 28th, and then closed May 1st to August 31st. So it does give you the days in which certain species are open, and it also gives you the sizes in which you're allowed to bag. I would always recommend some type of measuring device. I do particularly like these, just because they fold up, and then it's not like a tape measure where it's going to rust out. It works really good, and I've had this one for quite a while. I enjoy it. Next I bought a dry storage box, and this usually has additional GoPro parts, batteries, mounts, the back doors, more of the thumb screws. I keep all my extra GoPro stuff in here, and that is a dry storage box, and I like to keep that in every one of my setups with my box. Now this is one of the parts that does get thrown into the backpack when I'm gonna go run down a seawall. I like to make sure I have my extra batteries and my extra parts. But a little dry storage box like this works out real well. You can take a Dremel, and this is something that we've done, and Dremel the inside of this to where if you want to put your GoPro in here inside of the waterproof case, it does fit and it doesn't hit the edges. These ridges are just more for support, so you can Dremel these out if you would like. It does give you a little bit more clearance inside of there, but it works really well for what I'm using it with, and I definitely would recommend it. There are different sizes, but this is the size that works easiest for me. The next thing is I keep the current Mr. Tackle box. I don't have to keep it in the cardboard, but that's just kind of how I've been keeping it as of lately. And I have, like I said, all the recent stuff in here. And then as soon as the next one comes in, these will all get integrated into the bag wherever they're appropriately supposed to be. And I put the new Mr. Tackle box in here. This one's a little weathered. It got wet the last couple times. All right. Now for the actual boxes that I keep in my bag. First one is kind of like it's really hard to explain what I do here. And I don't really always have a rhyme or reason. But what I'm doing on this particular one is it is top water and subsurface, whatever it is, like this is Sebile subsurface, this is Sebile top water, this is Sebile top water. I also keep like my pre-rigged jigs. This is one that I've been using quite a bit, and I like that color. It's got a little bit of a gold fleck in it, and it's a light red. That works real nice. Spoons, just kind of all around a non-lipped hard bait or a soft bait. My lipped crankbaits, those are in a separate one, but this is like top water or subsurface or jigs. And of course these do all change, like I said, but this is kind of how I have it set up for my grab and go setup. The next one, like I mentioned, I do have swim baits in here too, so it's always not the best organized, but all my lipped crankbaits, like all my X-Wraps, this is my favorite color lately, this orange and yellow. That's one of my favorites. I've caught quite a few fish on these. I love X-Wraps, those things are pretty great. And it gets cleaned out once in a while, and once I update things, sometimes I have a second one of these in my box, or in my bag. I'll have one for X-Wraps, one for Sebiles. I'll get down to actually separating it out through the company. But most of the time it's just one box, and I just kind of have them put in there. It does make it quite a bit easier to grab and go. The last thing I have is kind of a mixture of everything else. And this has been condensed down. I used to have one box for weights and one box for hooks. but I have condensed it down, and I seem to like this setup quite a bit more. I keep all my hooks. I do use basically exclusively owner hooks. Those are my favorite. You know, they send the Daiichi with the mystery tackle box, and I've used them. Not a huge fan, but I'm sure once I have some luck with them, my mind will turn. But as it stands now, I love owner hooks. It's just what I use. I keep my jig heads in here, keep bobbers in here. Now, in a future video, I'm going to show you a little hack to tying knots better with one of your bobbers. I'm sure you can guess it, but it's something that I've done over the years, and just recently learned that nobody else has done that. So I'll show you how I actually go about tying better knots with your bobber. Like I said, got some weights, some split shots, small barrel swivels. These are real nice. You don't want anything too big or bulky, and you don't want your shrimp just doing the helicopter in the water and unwinding everything. These are real nice. I don't always use them, but when you need them, it's nice to have them. And some snap swivels too. You never know if you're gonna need one. You know, sometimes if I'm fishing heavy bridges and I'm fishing for big snook and I'm changing out my lures quite a bit, I might throw one of those on there. Not to say that I always do that, but if I'm trying to find out what they're biting on, I'll use one of those. And then I have been known to just take them off and continue to fish without it. But it's nice if you're flipping around a lot to see what you actually want to use. But that's about it on my box, or on my bag. It's pretty basic, but that's how I separate things out. I kind of have a mixture of bobbers, jigs, and hooks, lipped crankbaits or deep diving swim baits, and then top water hard bait, subsurface hard bait, and jigs that are already pre-rigged. And those are kind of my quick go-to things, and it seems to load up pretty nice. Now, something I did, and I probably should have mentioned this, when we went out to Palm Island with the family, with the fact that this is set up the way that it is, something that is nice with that is you can wrap up an 8-foot cast net, pretty much any cast net, and wrap it up tight. Just start with the weights and wrap it on itself, and that'll fit right in the bottom of this bag. So it really just condenses what you have to carry, the amount of objects you have to carry. And you can still stick your box in there. There's plenty of storage left. But like I said, this is how I go about my everyday tackle bag. And it seems to work out good for me. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I have everything set up. I haven't ever had any issues with it, but if you guys have any suggestions, maybe things that you guys do, comment below, and just let me know what you think. I would really appreciate that. That'd be really nice. And let me know what you guys do with your bag. I'm always up to suggestions. And if I can do something differently to make this a better setup, then I would appreciate hearing that. Or let me know what you guys do. I'd like to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts. I mean, that's really why we do this, so we can all kind of get a feeling for what everyone else does and kind of make everything better. Like I said, I would appreciate that. That would be great. All of your comments and views are really appreciated. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. See you later.